Hello, my name is Raymond Karchevsky. I am a living Christ. Today I have a message for all of humanity, all civilized human beings, wherever they may live in this world. It is the Christ way to a new world consciousness. This is being directed toward all Christs with amnesia. It is being focused upon those who have the spiritual eyes to see and the ears to hear, but have not yet entered into the kingdom of heaven, the realm of divine awareness, which comes with their subconscious mind through the direct perception of truth via meditation and a silent intellect. It is also what can be considered to those of lesser intellectual consciousness to be the miracle of raising the dead. It is a spiritual truth that those who are conditioned via satanic mind control, via their own voluntary consent, are dead to the spiritual energy of truth. The kingdom of heaven is within. It is the subconscious realm of human consciousness that is based in truth, non-duality. It is a realm of God, of what is before it is interpreted via the filter of a conditioned intellect and changed into the dualistic idea of truth, which then is projected outwardly and thus becomes a worldly creation of a confused, violent, opposing intellect that is born of civilized society, hell on earth. I, this living Christ, recognizes that this runs counter to your conditioned beliefs and will disturb most of you who don't know any better and are thus ignorant of what lies beyond your conditioned limitation of thought. But does that not truly describe the wake-up moment of truth? We, each of us, are imbued with capability, the capacity to navigate two dimensions of consciousness, the physical, intellectual plane of dualistic, linear, time-bound, interpretive consciousness, which is the way of the satanic world, the civilized society that we live in, and the spiritual consciousness, which can only be accessed through direct perception of non-dualistic truth, operant in the subconscious mind, which is operating at all times, but cannot be accessed when the intellect is engaged. That is the difficulty imposed upon my communications with others, being a living Christ, a simple man of truth. It is difficult to engage the satanic world, the hell-bound intellect of the average man who suffers from amnesia of his or her true state of Christ consciousness. If you don't think that it takes a jolt to awaken the living dead from their trance-like hypnotic trance state, you are quite mistaken. You all gravitate toward positive imaged schmoozing techniques which only strengthen and assure your enslavement to your satanic spun cocoon of mind control hypnosis. You have yet to rise above your dead belief systems and test them for their truth via your actual experiences. The fact is that most people are seen to be the living dead, blind believers, led by blind leaders. As such, they have resigned themselves to a life of inertia, of sleep, apathy, awaiting others to do their thinking for them, to give the order so that they might carry it out. Few have the ability to stand alone, and those who do are attacked by mobs of ignoramuses who have developed a pridefulness in their defense of their ignorance. I, this living Christ, have been a spiritual lightning rod who has drawn out and proven the truth for 20 years on and off the internet. See for yourself at my two websites, arkenterprises.com and lisarayenterprises.com. Or you may check out the Google archives under my name, Raymond Garchevsky. So what is it that this living Christ has to offer that is being so violently rejected in favor of maintaining the status quo? Is such a man really crazy, a kook, a subversive, or is he not merely recognized for being a balanced man living in a crazy, kooky, subversive, satanic-ruled world, full of violence, exploitation, composed of mentally ill and pharmaceutically tranquilized people who have lost their spiritual way? For those of you who are experiencing the truth of my words, I suggest that you flesh them out by checking out my 201 YouTube videos on my website page, Ark Enterprises, at the gospel link at the medium section of the first page. I have no apologies for the format of the sites, as I write when the Spirit moves me, and am not concerned with entertaining a belief-hungry audience. I leave that for the preachers, the ministers, the priests, who keep you under a hypnotic trance, and have done so throughout your lives. As to finding the truth on my pages, let your intuitive mind guide you, and you will find what you are looking for. I maintain that civilized man has it all wrong, and has so since the beginning of time, when he fell from grace and was made to doubt himself and fall prey to the hell-like dimension of the satanically ruled intellect. The New World Order is the satanic alignment of elitists, satanic elitists, who have held sway over the manipulation of the intellect of the masses, the institutions of government and religion, both of which are illusory and products of magical thinking. The civilized world has been entranced via such satanic interference, and that is why this created world of hell on earth is based on the collective projections of such blind believers as yourselves. I, this living Christ, propose not a new world order, but a new world consciousness. How can it be brought about? I suggest you read all about it on my sites. It is all there. Boycott. Boycott. Boycott the satanic institutions who make the rules and control your minds, for they have no power over you unless you grant it to them through your consent or contract. Stop competing and start cooperating with one another. Stop paying for services and start donating, which takes it out of the venue of taxation. Operate privately, not publicly. Return to the medium of gold and silver in the voluntary donation process, or merely trade with one another, barter. Then watch what happens to all the illusions that you now believe in. Now, I won't go into any depth regarding this matter, as I will only be repeating myself, when it can all be found via the sites and the Google archives that have been already mentioned. Make no mistake about it. This is not for everybody. In the critical times ahead, the living dead shall become the dead dead. You don't have to be one of them, for it will be the just, the meek, the balanced, who shall inherit the earth. For those of you who have understood this message, share it with your loved ones. Spread it far and wide. For this living Christ is being blocked and censored on the internet, and has been for the last 20 years. Whether the New World Order or the New World Consciousness emerges via the second coming of Christ rests with you. You have been lied to by the Satanic Forces which have ruled your intellect throughout history. Take to heed what I have just said and act on it. For if you do not act, you will be swallowed up by the inertia of the living dead. It is time to change your life. It is time to create a future for your posterity. This way that I suggest shatters all of the existing protocols which have ruled hell since the beginning of time. It is time for you to remove yourself from that situation by creating a new world consciousness. Thank you for your time.